Drover's Report on Ag Day is brought to you by Boehringer Ingelheim.
Now, earlier in the newscast, we talked about strong domestic demand for U.S. beef in 2021, but it was also a record year for U.S. exports. The final numbers are still coming in, but the U.S. Meat Export Federation expecting beef to be in the range of 16 to 17% growth with values of $10.5 billion. Now, USMEF saying the exciting aspect of those stats is that it's growth from a number of markets, not just one. Sales were strong in Japan, Korea, China, Indonesia, Mexico, and Central America. They say it's clear a global middle class is starting to emerge, and that should bode well for 2022 and beyond.
We're projecting increased growth at probably at a slower rate. Beef production is probably going to be down a bit in 2022, but the dynamics are the same. I mean, we still have a lot of momentum in a lot of these markets, and honestly, we don't see that really changing.
Hallstrom says food service still isn't back to normal in many countries. He expects as more countries ease restrictions, demand will continue to rise, especially in Asia. Currently, export markets contribute more than $400 for every head sold. Many of the folks here at convention expressing concerns about the drought building in the Central Plains. USDA says about half of cattle and hay are currently in an area suffering from drought, with hay stocks the second lowest in 40 years. And with little to no moisture in areas since last fall, 2022 is starting with concern that drought may linger through spring. Now, if moisture doesn't return soon, it could force more cows to the sale barn and reduce cattle inventories even further.
Drought has expanded. It's very consistent with the La Nina weather pattern that is back in place. It's really a pretty scary scenario. We've got a couple months for it to not be a problem if we get moisture, but if we go another couple months, get into what should be springtime, and spring doesn't come, you know, we could see a lot of consequences. And since so many regions were in drought last year and some even the year before that, we don't have a lot of latitude.
However, the current La Nina-driven weather pattern could start to change later this year.
We'll see that transition start to take place in the spring. We're not going back to a strong El Nino, which means it's not going to get wet overnight. It's going to be a slow process, but the La Nina weather pattern should start to slide away, and we'll get back in a little more predictable wetter pattern as we get into 2023.
Peel says producers are already pulling cattle off of winter wheat pasture due to the drought stress.